This week, fashion designers gathered in New York City to showcase their upcoming collections for next spring.
The thrifting economy is booming.
Kids are back in school, aren't they? And styles change from year to year. That has never changed through time. And kids always want to have the trendiest looks.
Fashion is so important to our culture. But how does it affect the environment? To answer that question, we need to look at how it's made. Fashion can sometimes be sustainable, or it can be made as fast fashion, meaning it's designed to last for a short time before trends move on. When trends shift, it gets left by the wayside and accumulates in landfills and waterways where it causes harm to people and animals alike. When we produce and dispose of fashion unsustainably, someone must pay the price. Our oceans pay the price as they get flooded with clothing, most of which is made of artificial materials that don't break down. These leach microplastics into the environment and harm animals. We pay the price for this mess too. We spend tons of money producing clothing that doesn't get used and creates a nightmare for people having to dispose of it. And the effects are not limited to natural systems. Microplastics accumulate in fish and get into our bodies when we eat them. This can cause a variety of health problems, including heart and respiratory issues. So what can we do about this? As consumers, we have the power to make smarter fashion choices. Choosing biodegradable and durable materials is one of the most important things we can do to mitigate our impact. So, for example, you might buy this cotton sweatshirt instead of this polyester one. It's important to note that cotton production does take a lot of water, so it helps to find a brand that sources from sustainable farms, and it's important to try and get the most out of each piece of clothing. I was curious how sustainable my own fashion choices are, so I surveyed 16 random pieces of clothing from my wardrobe. Out of the 16, 6 of them were what I'd consider fast fashion, and multiple of them already showed signs of damage. That was a lot more than I was expecting, especially because I'm not someone who really keeps up with fashion trends, so I was expecting my clothing to be more sustainable. How much mileage you get out of each piece of clothing is also an important factor for how sustainable it is, so I decided to take a look at how regularly I wore these clothes. Here I'm defining regularly using something as at least once every few weeks during its season. So for example, a sweatshirt wouldn't be punished for not being used in the summer. I have even more work to do in this area. Almost half of my items weren't commonly used, and some of them I hadn't worn in months. This really showed me how much more I need to be thinking about my fashion choices and how much of an improvement I can make. And for a retailer's perspective on this issue, I submitted an interview question for Bert Jacobs, co-founder of the Life is Good clothing brand.
I think there are some actual negative elements to the fast fashion market. You know, another thing is that it's not usually sourced responsibly. It's just trying to get stuff in there. It's stuff that falls apart really quickly and is damaging to the environment as a result. You know, we're better off to buy high quality clothing, even if you're paying a little more for it. If it's something you can wear for 3 to 5 or God forbid 10 years, versus something, you know, the average t-shirt they say is worn like 1.5 times.
Life is Good is what many would consider one of the more conscious brands, but it's still really cool to see that retailers can see some of the dangers in fast fashion. In another part of the interview, he even mentioned some of the changes they were trying to make to reduce their unsold waste. He also said the power is in the hands of consumers because retailers will continue making whatever people buy. So, with our purchases, we have a lot of power to make a difference and make a more sustainable future.